Woohoo! We made it! Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Joy Jam this morning. It is a smoky Saturday morning here in Idaho. The smoke from the fires in western Idaho and Oregon is like inundated us way over here. We're hours away, but so we're all coughing and laughing and clearing the air, which is such a perfect metaphor for our lives. We've got all this gunk in the air and all of these thoughts that are like the ashes that make us choke and gag. And we need to clear some space and allow ourselves to breathe freely again. So we're going to be using laughter and play this morning to raise our vibration, uplift our energy field, and go into the clarity of what we really want to do with our life and how we need to get there. Which we never get to find out, but if we keep laughing, we get shown the path anyway. So this morning we are broadcasting from this is going to be the studio of Joy TV, and it will be the Planet Joy headquarters. I've just moved into the house. My movers came yesterday, so it's kind of an empty room right now, but I've got a couple of friends here to play with, and we will fill this space with the vibration of laughter and joy, and I'm thrilled that you're joining me this morning. So this morning, before we dive in, let's just take a moment to raise our vibration and really get present with being fully here. We're just going to practice an intentional laughter just to move with the breath in our body and be fully present. Okay, so take a deep breath in, close your eyes if you want, and just let your attention come to your feet, your heels, your hips, anywhere that you're touching the ground. Just bring your awareness to anchor and ground yourself into this moment right here. Deep breath in. And now on the third breath, we're going to add an exhale with laughter sounds. And so this is just choosing to laugh. Even if it feels fake, we're going to get warmed up here. So deep breath in. What's funny is that there's nothing funny. Well done, we've already mastered it. Okay, so for those of you who are tuning in on Google Hangouts, we're just going to touch on a minute of administration here. There's a place where you can ask your questions. So if you want to type any questions you have or comments or insights you're getting or confusion or anything, just post your question and it should pop up right here and we can address it in real time. For those of you watching on YouTube, there's no interaction, so we will have to use telepathy. So we're gonna practice mind reading this morning. I'm kidding. It's a work in progress for me. Okay, so you can interact as much as you want. It looks like most of you are watching via YouTube and not part of the Hangout. And I know there's a couple people planning to join later, so we may be able to have some video interaction, but just sit tight. If this is your first Google Hangout, just watch how it works. And it's actually pretty simple, but there's kind of a technology hump that many people have to get over to, can I figure it out? Will it work? And it's okay if it all goes to hell in a handbasket. We'll just laugh anyway, right? So thanks so much for joining me. Post your questions, and we are going to play together for the next about 25 minutes, and then I'll open it up to Q&A for those who are wanting to continue on, and otherwise we'll wrap it up. So now that we have laughed and warmed up, let's take a moment to get into a space of gratitude. Gratitude and laughter is like my favorite 1-2 punch to raise the vibration to higher consciousness. So let's start with a little gratitude circle. If you are on the Google Hangout and want to type in what you're feeling grateful for this morning, go ahead and type that. And if you're on YouTube, again, just put out your message and we'll try to read your mind. And for those who are here, we've got Susan and Ann, and we'll use these voices because I can hear them really, really well. So what are you feeling grateful for this morning?
My family.
Family, okay, how about you, Ann?
Oh, I'm feeling grateful that I've been working on a weight loss program, and I've lost 14 pounds in the last 2 months.
Lost 14 pounds in 2 months. Woohoo!
I went to a health resort, so I got a little bit of an oomph there.
Oh, fabulous! So support in your journey too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm grateful that I was successful.
Yeah.
I'm still going.
And still going. You got the momentum flowing. Okay. So how about you? What are you feeling grateful for this morning? Just take a moment and tune in to something, whatever comes to mind. Okay. Now we're going to do a little laughter circle of celebrating our gratitudes. So what we're doing is we're doing laffirmations. This is adding laughter to our affirmations, and this just amplifies our intention. So we're going to just say, I'm grateful for my family. Is there anything specific about your family, like the loving qualities or support?
Yeah, I had a friend whose mom died this morning, and so I guess it's just got on.
Had her mother die this morning, and so just really appreciating which we have when there's loss. Oh, I got love. Oh, thank you. I got such a nice post. I'm grateful that you are you, Anne. Oh, thank you. I love you. Thank you. Okay, so what we're going to do is just make that a laughter affirmation. So I'm grateful for my family. And what we're going to do is use our body to embody this vibration, get our arms up in the air. That always raises our energy. And we're going to celebrate for all the blessings that we have by saying, I'm grateful for family. And then we laugh to celebrate it. So here we go on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm grateful for family. Anne's gratitude was 14 pounds in what, 2 months, losing weight, and so feeling more like your vibrant, sexy, slim self.
Downsized and some downsized in my clothing, so I'm happy to say achieving a goal.
Yeah, all right. I'm grateful for achieving goals. 1, 2, 3. I'm grateful for achieving goals. Okay, and let's see, my gratitude this morning. I am so incredibly profoundly grateful for the gift of this space and this home and this office and this TV studio and all of the possibilities that are coming. So I'm grateful just for the blessings of the universe. So I'm grateful for the blessings of the universe. 1, 2, 3. I'm grateful for the blessings of the universe. Okay, and if you have anything else you want to type in, we can add that to our list. Now's your chance. Type in your gratitude. I'll check over here to see if anyone has typed over on this side. And refresh. Okay. All righty. So now we have just done some very basic practices with our body and our laughter and our intention to raise our consciousness. So from this space, I want you to think about waking up. It's really common to be yawning when you're moving energy, so it's not okay. Hey, there's Merry Christmas. Hello, Merry Christmas. Woo! We can see you.
Oh, good.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us on the video.
I've been here a while. I just am challenged by technology.
Woo! Thanks for technology. Okay. Well, what are you feeling grateful for this morning, Mary?
I am grateful for being alive and deep breathing and laughter, and for you, Anne.
Woohoo! All right. Well, let's do grateful for being alive. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm grateful for being alive. Woohoo! Yes. Oh my goodness, I suddenly wanted to break into song of Whitney Houston. The greatest gift of all. Flashback to the 80s. Okay, so let's just jump into our imaginary future for a moment. If you could just slow down and take a deep breath in and go within your heart. And what is it that you want to be living or experiencing 10 years from now, or 5 years from now, or 3 years from now, or even next year? It doesn't matter. Just find something that in your imagined future that is really meaningful to you, that you would love to be living, the dream that's yet unfulfilled. Doesn't matter how impossible it seems. Just take a moment and connect with that in your heart. You don't have to share it yet, but what is it that you really want to experience and live in your life? Okay, so just take a moment, breathe into that, find it in your heart space, and it might be so tender and sacred that you don't even feel like sharing it yet, and that's okay. That's when you're really tuned into your sacred dreams. So deep breath in, just go there. Who are you being? What are you living? What is that dream?
You.
Okay. So this morning, we are going to go through some really fun and playful practices just to encounter all of the obstacles and fears and limitations and gremlins that we all encounter on our path from getting where we are to living that life that we really want, because there's so many things that feel impossible. There's so many things that feel like, oh, where would I start? And oh, who am I to think? All of that kind of stuff. So we're going to play with all of those things using the power of our laughter and our playfulness as our power tools, okay? So first off, we are going to step into the magical world of Harry Potter and Hogwarts University, because it's a source of endless fun and inspiration for me. So in Harry Potter, of course, if you haven't read the book or watched the movie, Harry Potter is a wizard who uses a wand, and they learn all sorts of different spells and techniques at Hogwarts University. And so we are going to be playing with our magic wands. Oh, awesome. Hi, Kevin. Thanks for joining us. Woohoo! Yay!
Finally!
Awesome! Hooray for technology! Oh, you have a great laugh.
Oh, wow.
I'm glad you're here.
Finally got in! Hallelujah!
So we are just about to get out our playful magic wands here. So first thing I want you to do is imagine that you do have a magic wand. And when this magic wand, you're using it, you have access to the power that creates worlds. You have access to universal intelligence and infinite wisdom, and that dimension of oneness where everything is possible and all can be done, and there are no limitations. Your magic wand is your tool, okay? So let's just practice playing with our magic wands first of all, so we can feel, what does your wand feel like when you're waving it? What's the movement that feels most playful and fun and authentic for you? Are you, tight and close like a mousy conductor? Are you flamboyant and expressive and leaping? What's your magic wand? So let's take a moment and just wave our magic wands. We're going to move about the room, move your body. The key is to move, and we're just going to add intentional laughter to play with our wands. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Woohoo! Now you've got the fundamentals. Now we're heading off on our epic adventure of creating our most joyful, adventurous, beautiful, awesome life. Liberated from fear, free from self-doubt, prosperous, abundance, and free to be our best self, okay? So this is where we're headed. So when we start out on this journey, we are tired in advance because it's so exhausting to think how far we have to go.
Lack of oxygen.
Yes. But we are also full of passion and excitement and enthusiasm for where we're going. So let's imagine that we can see our dream clearly, and we're going to celebrate because we know in our hearts, that's my destiny. That's what I'm going to live. I am born to do that. So with our magic wands, we're just going to celebrate and give thanks that we are here to live that dream and own and claim that destiny. So let's do a celebration laughter. 1, 2, 3. Woo-hoo! Okay. Now let's say that we have told somebody about our grand dream and our deepest desire and that intention in our heart that says, I'm going to do this thing that feels so impossible from where you are. You know, let's say you're in a really unhappy relationship and you know in your heart you want a happy marriage. That might feel impossible. Or you are in a job you don't like and you just know that you have fulfilling work that you can do. You don't even know what it is, so how could you possibly build a business or get the job that you want? But you're going to do it. It's that leap from the I don't know and the impossible to the I don't know, but I'm going to do it. I'm living it. It's possible. And so when we tell people about our dreams, if they're not in our intimate circle of supporters who are like, yeah, you go, girl, you rock it, you might get some pushback of, well, how are you going to do that? Or that, good luck, you know. And so that's the first obstacle we encounter is that feedback from others who aren't totally supportive, the negative naysayers, so to speak. Okay, so when we run into people like that, it feels like sludge. It feels like our dream and our passion and our enthusiasm just went. Okay, so just feel the contrast of that for a minute. We're going to embody that just for contrast and comparison. Imagine that we've just all slipped into quicksand and it's hard to laugh. We're like, trying to move out. Okay, the quicksand of other people who don't believe in you. Oh, it feels terrible. But remember your magic wand? Get out your wand. And here we go. We're going to wave our wand. Whoosh! And suddenly we can swim through the light. Back to our dream. So now okay, so if we just stop and look at that for a second, nothing changed about our dream or how possible it is, but we used our body and we used our laughter and we used our intention to get back into the place where we know it's possible and get out of what other people think or what they believe and back into our own hearts and our own truth. So that's why we're doing these movement exercises and laughing is just giving you more and more tools to say, yes, I can swim through that sludge. What sludge? Woohoo, I'm flying, wee! Right? So that's kind of the big picture of why we do this. Okay, so now you're off on your grand adventure of, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year, or I'm going to create, you know, whatever. What would you do?
Create a healthy relationship.
Yay! Create a healthy relationship and lose. How many pounds would you like to lose?
15 more, so 30 altogether.
30 pounds, woohoo! Okay, so whatever it is for you, just take a moment to connect. So the next thing is, oh God, it's hard. I thought it was going to be easy, right? Because I could feel it so possible. Like, oh, I could see myself slim, and I can feel myself with my partner. I could see myself having this Joy TV, just fabulous channel with so many videos and lots of subscribers. Like, wow! And then, oh, there's a lot of work to do. Bummer, right? Okay, so there again, this is where we want to stay in the flow of finding our path of ease, where it's inspired and we're in the flow. Hi, Elaine, thanks for joining us.
Hello. I'm just getting set up.
Perfect. We are playing with our magic wands and creating our most joyful lives.
I have been listening while I've been driving home.
Fabulous.
Great.
Okay. Good. Okay, so when we run into the, oh, it's hard. It's hard. There again, it feels hard when we're not in the flow of inspired action and desire, aligned with our desire. So here's where, again, we can use our magic wand. And this is a spell from Harry Potter. They use the a charm that they just said the word glisseo. I don't know if you remember that from the movie or the book, but glisseo. And it was like glisseo going down the steps, just whoosh, all of a sudden what looked like all of these steps became this wonderful slide. And so what we're going to do is embody this right now with running into the it's hard, which feels like a brick wall. So we're going to take a couple steps and feel that, like face plant of, oh, it's hard, and then we get out our wand and say, glisseo, and laugh, and then go sailing through the air. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, hit the wall. And your wand, glisseo! That's so easy! Now, it's really easy to, all right, sorry, I'm reading too many things here. Woo! There we go. It's really easy to think that all of it's supposed to be easy, but the point is, when you encounter the hard stuff and the work, when you take the time to reconnect with your big why you're doing it, what's your vision, how do you feel when you reconnect with that vision of why you're doing this? It's one of your tools that helps you get back into glisseo. And then you want to do the work. It doesn't feel like, oh, I should do the work or I have to. You want to do it. And it's our relationship with it that determines whether we have joy or not. So glisseo helps us reconnect. Okay. So then, let's say we are on our journey and we're making some progress, but then you have a relationship, but there's a big fight, and it feels like, oh, everything is wrong, it's falling apart. Or you are on your weight loss journey, and then you ate a whole pan of brownies, and you know, or you're creating your Joy TV channel, and the audio didn't work again, or whatever it is for you. Elaine, now we got, looks like we got some audio.
Hey,
what are
greeting you from Maryland.
Hi, Elaine. This is, we'll do some more introductions in a bit. But sure. Elaine, what's the first thing that comes to mind on your journey of creating your own Google channel, of an obstacle that you encountered that felt like, oh, it's just wrong. It's not working. What was frustrating? Just a little thing.
When I first got started, I had a computer that was overheating, and it would shut me down mid-broadcast. That was no fun, but we got the computer fixed, and then we learned to get very comfortable with technological glitches and just laugh our way through them. So my audience knows that they happen sometimes, and it's a good teaching tool for everybody.
So true. Okay, how about Merry Christmas? What's something that you've encountered that was just a frustration, just a little thing that felt like, oh, it's just not working?
Technology, can you see me? Barely. You are on my telephone. My computer is sitting here fighting with me, and I'm taking my magic wand and tapping it and saying, go for joy, go for joy.
Yes! The principles in action. Thank you, Merry Christmas. All right.
Talking about Harry Potter, the adults went to the happy hour last night, and we children took the children and went to see Inside Out. Has anyone seen that?
Yeah.
It is the joy and the inner workings of the brain. I think that we should incorporate that somehow. It was great. I don't know what your opinion was, but I didn't understand the movie till I got home.
Well, it's on my list to see it, but I'm sure after I see it, it'll be fuel for tons of more inspiration, so we will play with it. Okay, so this is a perfect example. Technology, computers, phone, all of that. When it doesn't work, it's like, oh, things aren't working. So again, our power tools, our magic wands. So we're going to use our Harry Potter spell. When something was broken, they would just use their wand and say, reparo, 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 and they could fix broken anything. So let's practice seeing the crumbled, shattered shards of our expectations in front of us, and looking at them with dismay and choosing to get out our wand and laugh as we say reparo. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, reparo! Some days when things aren't working, or you've just had a rough day, it's easy to forget that you are this divine being who is destined to live the life of your dreams. There are truly no limits, and you're on your perfect path. But we forget that sometimes. So we're going to use one of my favorite Harry Potter spells to get back to our wings and take flight again. And this, of course, is Wingardium Leviosa, not Leviosa. Remember that? Here we go. So let's get your wings back and move around the room as you fly, saying Wingardium Leviosa. Here we go. Wingardium Leviosa.
Wingardium Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa.
Okay. And now, of course, there's those moments when we run into a dark corner and we can't see our path. We don't know what's next, and we can't imagine where the next step will come from because we've boxed ourselves into a corner. It feels impossible, and we can't see anything. This is when we need to shine our own light again. So we're going to do Lumos and illuminate our path by choosing to reconnect with our intuition, our higher self, our infinite intelligence by saying Lumos. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Shine the light. Lumos! Lumos!
Lumos! Lumos! Lumos! Lumos! Lumos!
Okay. Now we'll do one last one, and then we'll wrap up the main section, and we'll go into just individual Q&A and answering questions. So the last one we're going to do is one of the hardest ones. I mean, it feels the hardest when we encounter those dementors in Harry Potter, the ones that just they swoop in, and like in Harry Potter, it was like that ice cold chill. And when the Dementors came around, you couldn't remember anything that was good, and you just felt cold in the very core of your being. And the only way to get out of that fear and that confusion and that blankness where you can't remember anything good about your life or where you were going or what you were doing anyway is what was it called? The patronus, to conjure a patronus. And so Harry Potter had a patronus of a white stag. And so you may have an animal or an image that comes to you as that guide, your animal guide, or a totem or a protector or something. But you don't have to always know what it is, but we're just going to imagine that you too can conjure your patronus. And your patronus is your ally. It will always support you. So here we go. Let's feel ourselves in the shadow of the Dementors and just feel what that feels like in your body. It's tense, it's cold. Just feel the contrast of how your body tightens up. And now find it within yourself to grab your wand. Grab your wand, grab your wand. And this charm is Expecto Patronus. Here we go. Expecto Patronus!
Patronus!
Arms up! March right up and here comes your little Patronus. Awesome. All right. Okay. So just take a deep breath. Deep breath and notice. How do you feel compared to when we started? Can you feel a difference in your body, in your mind, in your attitude? Every time we do this, we move our body and we laugh. We get closer and closer to the divine truth of who we really are, the part of us that has no limits, that sees no problems, and that can navigate life as a fluid journey instead of a roller coaster of terror and agony. Okay, so now we'll shift into playing with any particular issues or situations that you've got going in your life, if you want to type in a question into the question box, I should be able to see it. They've been coming in fine. Or if you, Elaine, Kevin, or Mary, since you are live on video, if you've got anything you want to play with, speak up, jump in, blurt it out. How about you guys? Any
The inner critic.
The inner critic. So our 30-minute Joy Jam just turned into a 14-year seminar. How to deal with the inner critic. Okay, give us a specific. What does it say that you just wish would go away, that you could be free of?
That I can't change anything. It is the way it is.
Oh, right. Okay, all right. So the inner critic voice, if you couldn't hear, said, you can't change anything. This is the way it is. And okay, so on the one hand, the inner critic is right.
Which is why she's so tricky.
So this is our game. This is our insane, crazy, expansive game of being okay with what is here now and saying, yes, there is nothing I could change in this moment about anything around me, and therefore it is what it is, so it must be perfect. But how can I reconnect with the part of me that can make different choices and choose a different vibration and look for new possibilities? Because that voice, she wants to put on the dimmers and say, no, there are no possibilities, and what you've done in the past is always what you do in the future. So what we're going to do is a little window washing of the goggles, because the inner critic goggles are like, what you did in the past is what you're going to do in the future. Nothing that will ever change. Right? So, just let it no, the goggles are very small. That's like pinpricks. Okay, now let's put on some bigger goggles, shall we? Some expansive goggles. The inner critic is maybe right about the past, but we are choosing the uber ultra super goggles whoosh, of possibility. And no matter what's happened in the past, I don't have a clue how it could get better, but damn it, I'm determined to start looking through my uber super periscope. Okay, so the key here to the inner critic is to continue focusing on what you want. So here's where there's two prongs here, and you can go with whichever one works for you in the moment. You can either reconnect with your vision of what you really, really, really want, and let yourself paint a picture of that healthy, loving relationship that you have, a loving partner, and you're feeling like your most authentic, vibrant self, and your love for who you are, and you're free to be yourself, and just feels so yummy. You know, paint that picture and describe it in detail. If you're journaling about it, keep writing about it until you can feel how you feel. You're wanting to go for that feeling state. So if that's what kicks up the inner critic and says, get real, you can't have that, it'll never change, then you bring your awareness back to the present, in which you can just change your relationship to what is here now. So for example, this is what is, and there's a lot of stuff I don't like, but, you know, I'm happy that I have family today because some people don't, and I'm happy that I have friends to laugh with today because some people don't, and, you know, just start talking yourself back through appreciation into what you do have in this moment that you can feel really good about. So it's just a matter of choosing to look for what you can see right now and appreciating it. That gets you out of the trap of everything sucks and I can only see suckage to you know, there's actually more beautiful things here that I'm seeing, and I'm open to seeing more in every moment, and I'm getting better at seeing more. And look at that, my goggles are expanding, and just doing that as a practice over and over, widening your goggles in the present and then reconnecting with what you desire. How does that feel for you?
Awesome.
Okay, so we got another one here from somebody who's tuning in, who said there was a huge blowout this morning about not being where I want to be. Yes, to the inner critic. The voice said, I'm so lame. I'm pathetic. And it's too late. I'm such a loser. Ouch! Oh, man! Ooh, man! The inner critic pulled out all the daggers and barbs. So, first of all, we gotta step into our power first to fight back, right? Fight back. So the inner critic was like, so we gotta do it right back. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Ready? So get your fighting posture. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Fight back! Don't suck it and take it, Elaine. Yeah. Okay, so the principle behind that one is when the inner critic has totally taken away your power like that and says, it's too late, there's nothing you can do, I'm pathetic, I'm lame, what it's doing is it's that voice of that smothering, suffocating blanket of fear trying to suffocate you. And so this is not the time to meet it with, oh, lovey-dovey, wishing for peace, kumbaya, because it doesn't have enough oomph in it to bust through the suffocating blanket. So you got to find your power, fight back and say, that's not true. I will not listen to that garbage. No, I'm done. That is where you need to step into your power. Them's fighting words, okay? So there's different ways of playing with it. Just add all of these to your toolbox. And, you know, when it comes up, but the key is move your body. You might not feel like laughing when the voice is like, you're such a loser, you're so lame. You want to cry, you don't want to laugh, but you can get into your anger and say, bull, I'm not a loser. Give it some loving laughter punches, right? This is your self-loving action. Okay, other questions?
Now, Annie, I just want to take off on what you've been saying. Sometimes when you're feeling so down, you don't quite have the oomph to punch yet, but you might in your sadness and aggravation go like, you kind of crying and laughing at the same time. And then you can lift that shift onto the power and like, ha, I'm knocking it out. I'm knocking it out. Ha, 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 ha. I like that one. That was good.
I do too. I like it. I like
it. Kevin, any comments, questions, insights?
Hey, I tell you, that was wonderful, because right now I'm having a situation where everything was going wonderful, And then all of a sudden I started doing self-sabotage with Haagen-Dazs and Ben and Jerry's. I need to knock it out. I need to knock it out, man, because it's bothersome. Because I know that's not good for my body, and it gets me in a slump by eating all that sugar and stuff, you know.
Right, right.
I don't know, and I don't know why I do it.
That is a gold mine. Yeah, because it tastes good. But ultimately,
Numbs the pain.
if we take it deeper, there's like a 1-2 process that we can use with that, because if we're in that voice of I shouldn't be eating Haagen-Dazs, I know it's not good, and you know, like we just did the combat, and I'm not listening to that voice.
It's so bad.
This is so bad for me, right? You know, we want to take that deeper, one level deeper, because there's some part of you, it happens to all of us, mine is coconut bliss ice cream, by the way, and burritos, it's my comfort food. It's that part that feels scared or uncertain, or something has been triggered that has upset our sense of security or okayness, and that part of us just wants soothing, and the only way it knows is comfort food that brings some level of soothing, right? And so before we could say, stop it, don't eat the Haagen-Dazs, or eat it anyway with a voice of judgment that says, I shouldn't be eating this, we want to just meet ourselves with the awareness that says, there's some part of me that feels uncertain right now, and it's safe for me to feel this. And just slowing down time before we leap into action to eat the Haagen-Dazs, you can pick it out of the freezer and hold it, but just use it as an opportunity to say, okay, I know I'm going to eat this because some part of myself feels scared. Where do I feel scared in my body? And you can start using your body as a tool to give you clues as to why you're actually doing it. Because it's not about anything that you think. There's always a deeper level, and it comes into your awareness when you ask. So you can ask your body, what am I really afraid of? Or what am I feeling uncertain about? And then keep asking, well, why is that? Keep going, why, deeper and deeper. And you may discover some insight about something that you didn't even know was related, that is like oh my goodness, that's what I'm really scared of. And then you can just take a deep breath, meet yourself with compassion, and say, it's safe for me to feel this, and it's okay for me to eat Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Don't make it a wrong, even though, you know, at some level we know it's not always nourishing for our body, but there's sometimes a huge gift in letting yourself eat just a little bit of the Haagen-Dazs ice cream to say, this is a tool that allows that part of me to feel soothed, and it's okay, and I don't need to eat it every day, and I don't need to eat the whole thing, and if I do, it's okay. I just am meeting that fear and loving that part of myself in the only way that it knows how in this moment. And I know I'm capable of other ways of self-soothing, and I haven't found them yet, but it's okay. I can love myself and meet myself with compassion with the ice cream or without the ice cream, but I know I'm looking for new opportunities. Does something like that resonate?
Well, yes, it does. It does. But the only thing is that ice cream to me is like alcohol to an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. It's addicting. So once I first taste it, then it's all over. I mean, right. I'm going half a gallons to gallons.
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. We're not talking about just a pint. And I wish I could just have a couple bites out of a pint, you know.
Right.
But I eat the whole thing, and then I go and get another one.
Got it. Okay.
And plus another thing, too, is I like how you talk about how you go deep in yourself. Well, what's the problem? Well, there's a problem because I'm not too deep. There's no depth to go. I can't find nothing.
All right. But, you know, a power practice for you might be just to bring awareness to your body when you're feeling that desire to go for ice cream, and just slow down and listen, where in my body do I feel this craving or this urgency, and just pay attention to any sensation, because at first it's very difficult to feel the sensations of your body because we're used to numbing them out. And so this could be your power practice that's just the baby step, opening doors to going deeper, is how do I feel? How do I feel? How do I feel? How do I feel? Now, when I started this journey, I was not a feeling person. I was a thinking person. So I couldn't have told you how I feel, and I wouldn't have known anything that I felt in my body at all. But this is where just doing these practices on a regular basis, moving my body and laughing, has done something to my nervous system that allows me to feel my body more fully. So have a lot of patience and compassion for yourself as you move and laugh, and then add asking to your 1, 2, 3. Move, laugh, and ask. And ask, where in my body is feeling unsettled? Where in my body is feeling scared or craving? Where is that? And at first you might not hear anything, but I can tell you, if you stick with it and keep asking, you will have a breakthrough of awareness. It might take 3 days, 7 days, 2 months, but the process will be very transformative if you commit to just checking in and listening. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's play with that for a moment, because what happens when the addiction kicks in is now we have totally left our prefrontal cortex and our higher wisdom and our higher consciousness, and now we are operating according to the physiology of the body. And the body is like the Pavlov's dog. It just knows ice cream produces a dopamine fix in my brain. And now I'm off the radar. I can't access my true self because I'm a slave to dopamine. And whether it's alcohol or ice cream or gambling or any number of addictions, shopping, you name it. There's so many things that are triggered in our brain, and we have lost our ability to get off track. So we have to start by loving that aspect of our humanity and loving the part that is wired to be pleasure-seeking. Now, instead of making it a bad thing, because right now it's misguided, it's moving, you're making choices that are not the healthiest for you, and so that's not the path. But if we can slow down and meet it with love and say, I love that my body is wired to seek pleasure. And even though I don't like how it is going about it right now, I know there's a way for me to rewire my nervous system to seek pleasure in more expansive ways that truly nourish my soul and allow me to be in my body in a more vibrant and alive way. So let's start with just giving thanks for the dopamine sensors in our brain and celebrate that we are inherently pleasure-seeking creatures. So let's just embody the Pavlov's dog and play with that for a moment and let it be okay that our circuitry is wired to do that, okay? So here we go. Let's be Pavlov's dog and laugh and play with it. It's Beautiful. How does that feel, Kevin? Does that resonate with you?
Oh, it does. It does. I just need to listen more. I need to listen more.
Yeah, it's the same for all of us. Slow down and listen, and have so much compassion for ourselves when we forget. Oh, beautiful. All right. Anyone else got something you want to play with? Questions or problems or challenges or blow-ups or obstacles or celebrations, delights, insights. Woohoo!
And
yes.
Well, I'd like to go back to the inner critic again, because the inner critic that plays in my mind a lot frequently throughout the day, the inner cricket is saying to me, you're never getting enough done. You're never getting enough done. And the truth is, when I end a day or before I'm having dinner, if I stop and look back at the number of projects that I've actually worked on or the calls I've made, I've done a lot. But yet, there's this voice that's an absolute liar, completely trying to distract me and devalue. So I'm wondering what kind of exercises we could make up so when I'm noticing that inner critic, because I guess this might be a common one, we could have a funny way to respond.
I read about it in a textbook, but I can't say I've ever felt that. No, that one is very familiar for many of us, I think. And, so it's helpful to just first have an intellectual understanding of where that's coming from. And it's just going back to our earliest assumptions about life that were formed in our childhood, that we are loved and supported and rewarded when we accomplish and achieve goals. And that's the culture that we grew up in, and it's like the water that fish are swimming in, and it's so pervasive. And it's part of the human dimension, but it's also part of the illusion of separation, that we are only valuable and valid because of what we've done in our lives. And so inherently it's coming from the illusion of separation and smallness. So if we can embody it as though we've been pinched off from our truth, and we're very small here in the narrowness of believing that our worth comes through doing, and that is like such a narrow, can't even fit into a phone booth perspective of ourselves. You can feel yourself pinched off. So what we want to do is create space for ourselves to be whole and to love ourselves in our wholeness and perfection exactly as we are, for who we are being, and reprogram our brain and our nervous system to the new consciousness that knows I am enough and everything I did today was perfect. And the voice that says there's not enough is a voice that used to be, this big, and now it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it'll be like a pipsqueak in my awareness. So as the voice of you didn't do enough, do more, didn't do enough, you should have been doing more, should have been, why weren't you working? What do you think taking a day off? You gotta be working, come on. As that gets smaller and smaller, we are doing that by making our true selves bigger and bigger and bigger in our own awareness. So it's like we get bigger and the voice gets smaller. So we're going to practice embodying that by starting as the small version of ourselves that listens to that and puts up with that garbage and says, oh, I should have done more, I can't take a break. And now find some space like you're a mime in the phone booth. Laugh your way into the wholeness. Smaller and smaller and smaller. And feel the voice. Let's just embody that voice, and the voice is getting higher pitched. You didn't do enough. You should have done more. You can't ever take a day off. Let it go to a whisper and just a tiny little pipsqueak. And then, what should we do with it?
Flush them down the toilet.
That's exactly what I was
going to blow mine away.
Perfect. The big flusheroo. Whoosh, the laughter flush. Okay, so there's one more part to that that's important, and that is simply that our nervous system and our brain is running a program that has a flawed belief in it that somehow anything that we did or did not do is not perfect. And that is something that we can practice, and it feels like a stretch at first, but this is the key to reprogramming your brain and your nervous system to look at everything that you have done and that you are doing or didn't do as perfect. So we're going to start from that place of perfection and self-love, just unconditional self-love. And so we're going to practice embodying this for a moment with our magic goggles and our magic wand, and imagine that we're all walking through our day, walking through our lives, and noticing ourselves stopping to pick up a flower, or going to get groceries, or taking a nap, or eating ice cream, or getting in an argument with our partner. You know, all the things that we're like, I wish that wouldn't have happened, or I should have been doing something more productive, you know, all of that. And we're just going to practice building this in our nervous system that what I just did is perfect. Now, that's not to say you might not make a different choice next time, because there's a part of you that wants to evolve into more love and compassion or more health and so on. But for this moment, it was perfect. So we need to anchor that in our awareness. So we're going to walk around practicing. It was perfect. I did it perfectly. I am perfect. So practice just walking around, moving around, and laughing to yourself as you say those affirmations. And let's just check back and see how that feels, okay? Okay, so here we go. It's perfect. It's perfect. I am perfect. It was perfect. I did it perfectly. You did it perfectly. You're doing it so perfect. You're perfect. Exactly the way you are. You are perfect. You're doing it perfectly. Isn't it amazing how perfect it was? Perfect. I'm perfect. It's perfect. So, Elaine, what you were getting at is that intellectually and consciously you know that voice is garbage and it's not true. But the game for you now is just up-leveling your nervous system so that it feels it. And that's going to come through just embodying that and practicing it and playing with it over and over. And it might only take, you know, a short time before you have a breakthrough and it shifts and that voice is gone. Or it may be something that you work on for the next months and years or whatever. So any thoughts or insights? How does that resonate?
I do. Because as you were talking, I mean, you know, my own inner voices started giving me some practices that were a little different than the ones you came up with.
Right, okay.
But it occurred to me, it was like I was recognizing, like, oh, it's you again. Like, you, the critic that's saying, nah, 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 nah. And for anybody, it could be their own nah, 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 nah. So, for me, what I came up with, because I would want to do this practice right when I'm noticing it's happening, I would want to say, oh, you again?
Yeah.
Oh, you again?
That's good.
Oh, you again? You think you got a handle on me? Oh, you again? Because I'm perfect.
Yes.
Oh, you again? So any of you watching might find maybe that could work.
Yes, we'll all benefit. Oh, you again? I mean, that's...
Oh, you again.
You know,
It's like the naughty, naughty laughter exercise. Oh, you again? Oh, you again? Well, of course, you know, because that's human nature, for it to keep coming back. Oh, you again? I got this covered, you know.
You know, it reminds me of that poem by Rumi, one of my favorite poems called The Guest House, and many of you, I'm sure, know it. If not, you can Google. But, you know, it's meeting all of those voices and all of our parts of ourselves as though it's a guest house and we are to welcome all of them. And in the poem, he says, you know, laugh about all of them. But it's such a helpful analogy to feel like that voice of should have been doing more, should be more productive, or might as well eat ice cream, go get another pint. You know, all of those are familiar characters in play of our experience. And to meet them at the door and say, you again. And it could be, oh, you again. You know, and you start with that, oh, you again. Oh. Welcome. Come in.
Come on in and play. Let's play and let's all transform.
That's right.
and it is, and it's absolutely about a process of having relationship with that energy pattern, that thought, and saying, let's look at this differently. Let's relate to it differently. We start by just acknowledging it's there. Oh, you again. And then making friends, being willing to detach our usual response to it and say, oh, maybe I could love it right like it is, and when I'm willing to love it / forgive it, then I can set that pattern free. And that's what happens. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what Rumi is saying.
Beautiful.
I love that you brought up that poem because it's a favorite of mine.
Yes, and it's so relevant for, you know, all of the work that we're all doing and wanting to do. It's at the heart of it, really, is we have to meet all the parts of ourselves and welcome them in. Ha, ha, ha. The parts that feel unlovable, the parts that feel unforgivable, the parts that don't make us feel like laughing. And I'll just touch on it briefly, but that's such an important part of joy. I know we've done this lighthearted laughter and play this morning, but there's a lot of embodying joy that is not laughing, and it is not playful, and it's meeting ourselves where we are with compassion and letting ourselves feel the feelings fully of sadness or inadequacy, or feeling whatever is there and letting it be there, and just in that radical acceptance of how we feel with inquiry. I wonder what this is really about. I wonder what I'm really scared of, and then going to the heart of the fear by asking and feeling it fully. You know, most of my journey has been a balance of being on the floor in a heap of tears, crying, feeling these fears and purging them out of my system through tears, and then laughing about it. You know, it's like the 1-2 thing, and you just go back and forth. But the more you're willing to feel the feelings of the pain or the loss or the whatever is unresolved within you, the more you're able to laugh. And it's like the spectrum of your joy expands and expands and expands and expands in relationship to your willingness to feel the sadness and the shadow stuff. So what we do here today is the light stuff that gets you in your body and opens up a lot of awareness. But after we leave, you know, if you have kind of a flare-up of sadness or feeling, you know, like something's wrong, the game is just to feel it fully and just to be okay with the feeling and say, it's safe for me to feel this, and it's okay for me to feel this. And even though I'm feeling sad, or even though I'm feeling like I could cry and cry and cry and cry and I don't know my way, I know that it's just me purging my body of feelings that have been buried there for years and years and years, stored in my unconscious, and I didn't know they were there. And it's okay for me to feel all of this. And that's where a huge wave of lightness comes, because it's like house cleaning of our body and house cleaning of our guest house too. So welcome them in, feel it fully, and then move your body again and get back in the flow as you feel inspired.
Can I share another thought, Anne?
Sure.
You know, sometimes when shit comes up and it gets cleared, you think you're done. Well, sometimes when it starts coming up, it's like more of S blank blank T's friends also want to come up because they realize, oh, this is a nice place. They might be greeted. you know? And so you can't assume because one has come up and has been cleared that it's going to be all over. Just get prepared for more of shit's friends to come up. So, for example, there is an exercise that I've done with laughter yoga around Christmas time. Like you get out your pad and you start thinking of all the people you could be buying gifts from, and you get overwhelmed thinking of how many, and you start writing them down like, there's my husband, ha ha ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, and then the next thing you know, you're thinking of so many, ha ha ha, oh, and that one too, ah ha ha ha. Well, you can do the same thing if you sit down in this moment of levity. You could probably think of all the variations of the voice of the inner critic that come up, and you could give a name to every one, like Perfection Pete, and Do It Now Dolly.
And Lazy Louie.
Lousy Louie. You're lousy, Louie. And you can make a list of all of them, and then you're anticipating. You know what? These friends have been hanging around for a long time. And so just be prepared. They're going to come visit, so welcome them in. And each one of them has a feeling and a flavor and a vibe to them. And just as Ann said, when they come in, kind of acknowledge that feeling. Play with it. Hey, oh, you're back. Lousy Louie. And then, you make friends with, it's Lousy Louie. And then it does. It lightens up.
Thanks, Elaine. I love the persona, kind of playing with personas and names. But, what struck me as you were saying that is the power of working through these type of energies as a group and knowing we're not alone and that every single one of us has those voices, and yet we can go on to live great things. Wait, don't leave yet. I'm going to have you stand up because we're going to do something real quick. So what I want to do is just create like a virtual circle where we are going to hold hands like in a semicircle. There's 3 of us, and there's you guys, there we go, and all of you on YouTube that we can't see your picture, but just imagine that you are in this circle and we're holding your hand, and together we have all created a container that is big enough for all of our flaws and shortcomings and imperfections and humanness to be accepted and loved. And ultimately that's the game for each one of us, is to be a container that can accept and love all of ourselves and all of others. That feels like a huge undertaking sometimes, but we can help each other as a group embody it to get collectively, and then it helps us individually. So let's just imagine that we're holding hands. I got my arm out to you here, and we're going to just imagine that we are a container that is loving and accepting of every element of all of us and all of humanity. And there's so much space here. Let's stretch our arms out. There's so much space for everything. All of the garbage to be welcomed and loved. And it's okay for it to be as it is. And so, let's see, what could be an affirmation that we throw into this too? Let's start with, it's safe for me to feel this, because often we have to just give ourselves permission to feel it. So let's say, it's safe for me to feel this, and then we'll laugh for the first one. Here we go. It's safe for me to feel this. It's okay for me to live this. Here we go. It's okay for me to live.
It's okay for me to live this.
And then we're going to say, okay to be me, exactly as I am. Here we go. It's okay
to be me, exactly as I am.
and take it to, it's great to be me, exactly as I am, and just own it, that we are perfect, even though we're learning and growing and changing in every moment. We're perfect exactly as we are right now. So it's great to be me. Throw your arms in the air and we'll celebrate. 1, 2, 3. It's great to be me! Oh, big hugs, everybody. All right. Anybody else want to type in anything on the questions? Just go ahead and add your comments. If you've had any insights or anything that's like, yeah, that's what I needed to hear, feel free to share that, because it's all a group community and everything that we share is supplements the growth of each one of us. So questions or comments, type them in. Looks like the others have left the webcast. Any other comments, Elaine or Kevin?
Yeah, you know, when I'm trying to be in the moment, and there'll be times where I do a lot of fantasizing, my awareness catches that, and I start laughing, and I really get in some really good laughs that way. Now, why can't I do that when, as Elaine says, all the other shit comes up? Why can't I laugh that off? I have a harder time trying to, you know, I am learning more and more to accept it and to welcome it. But even welcoming it, it just doesn't feel the same now. Like I said, when fantasy comes up, bam, I'm laughing that off, and then I'm back into the present moment. But boy, see, one of my biggest things is probably anger.
Okay.
Anger comes up, and then all of a sudden, that son of a gun just keeps on fighting back.
Yeah. So, what is your relationship with the anger? Does it feel like you shouldn't be feeling angry, or you're feeling angry and there's a part of you that wishes that you weren't? What if you? Well,
it's more like a victim. It's like more like a victim angry instead of a victor. I should be thinking I'm a victor instead of a victim. So it's that type of anger. You know, like if somebody you know pulls out in front of you, like when I'm on a bicycle, you know, you kind of get angered. Or just because of, you know, the way somebody, you know, you smile at somebody and they kind of give you a frown. You're wondering, what the heck's that all about, you know?
Can you hear me still?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. We had a little hiccup here. Energetically talking about anger.
Come on back, Ann. Come on back.
The way to appropriately respond.
Come on back.
What was it?
Come on back. Come on back, Ann. She's back. She's back.
Elaine can't hear us.
Now I can hear you.
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Oh, there you are.
That's funny. All right. Okay, so part of it is just habit. Like, children learn from their parents and authority figures in childhood how to respond appropriately to situations, and we just model it. So it's part of it is just conditioned habit. When something goes, quote, wrong, it's in the habit of responding with anger. And then the other part of it is simply going deep to the part that maybe does feel disempowered in life. And so anger is that part of you's way of having a voice and saying, you're more powerful than you realized. Because when you are feeling angry, like, you can feel in your body there's a strength and a power there. Now, it's using this avenue of getting out into the world, but it wants you to know you have a strength and a power within you that is stronger than anything that you're encountering. And so learning to look at your anger as, I wonder what it's wanting to tell me about my divine truth and my power, thinking along those ways and asking questions of your anger could be a very powerful practice. Does that resonate? Does that make any sense?
Wow, I've never thought of it that way, but I like it better than the way I was thinking about it.
Because, if we put all the pieces together, like the part of you that feels angry when something goes wrong has a strength there, and it's very much in the moment. It responds instantly and immediately, and there's no thought to it. So that part of you is alive and well. It's just directed at anger in the moment. But if we zoom out to the bigger picture, that part of you that can respond in the moment with strength and power is the same part of you that can catch the ice cream thing and go, I'm stronger than that. I'm more powerful than that. And you'll find your path. We don't know what that looks like yet, but if you just start thinking of yourself in that way and being open to new possibilities, keep us posted, All
right. Thanks.
Yeah, cool. All right, so we've got a couple minutes left. Let's play with the that anger voice, because it's our power, and we want to embrace and integrate the power and harness that anger for good in the world, not for perpetuating road rage. We want to harness it in ways that are like, I know what to do, and I'm going to do it. You get on our superhero cape. So that just gave me the idea just to step into our superhero power, the part of us that's stronger than habit, stronger than fear, stronger than a gallon of ice cream, stronger than sadness, stronger than lameness for sure, and step into our superhero capes, and we're going to start with the anger, the letting ourselves feel angry. Let's start with throwing some ha anger punches, and as we do a few of those, just feel yourself feeling stronger and more empowered, and imagine that you've got a cape on and you can fly around the room or sail off to grand adventures. You know what needs to be done. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm super anger. Awesome. Okay, any other thoughts on that? Kevin, did that resonate? Does that feel helpful?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Awesome. Well, next time we do this, we can play with it some more and see what's unfolded since today, and create new exercises, and just let it keep evolving, because there's a progression from the habit of anger or the habit of inner critic.
I am more for anger.
Yeah.
Katy Perry. You're gonna hear me roar.
You're gonna hear me roar. So it's those voices of anger and lameness, and the way they get smaller and fade out of our awareness is that we give the more powerful, enlightened, empowered part of ourselves more and more focus, more and more attention, and as that gets bigger, the other habits get smaller, and it's a very natural progression as you just evolve yourself on your journey. So, awesome. Well, go ahead, Elaine.
Okay, so what you've been saying throughout this whole hour is we want to feel in our bodies these things that are coming up, these constrictions, these reactions. We want to acknowledge them and allow ourselves to feel them, okay? And that's a starting point. So you see I put the word resiliency here, but I want to go back. Before we can get to resiliency, okay, playing with it, we have to resiliency. We have to allow ourselves to feel stuff so we can then see ourselves anew and feel ourselves anew. And our willingness to play, really to bring play into this process, being silly, being playful, helps us bounce back to our joyful, expansive self. So let's be in resiliency, to be silly and see, and this wordplay just came up for me within the last week. When we do this together, we are facilitators for each other in waking up. We are facilitators. Yay! Yay for being facilitators.
I love those taters.
Love those taters. But this is the best kind of tater to be, a facilitator. Instead of a couch potato, right?
Oh, we are broadcasting here from Idaho. I could see a whole
Idaho.
facilitator thing. Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Thank you. I love it.
This is my intellectual property, Anne, so if you use it, refer to me.
So, for those of you who don't know Elaine, she has her own weekly Google show. She plays with words, and it's called the Holy Shift Show, and I'll put that in the notes that I send out to you guys. But Elaine has a lovely professional setup there because she does this every week. It's her thing, and she's a master at playing with words and bringing laughter and lightness to that as well. So for those of you who may have caught this and you're not yet a member of Planet Joy, you can go to embodyingjoy.com and subscribe, and you'll be notified of all the upcoming Joy Jams and all the other awesome events we're doing. All sorts of fun stuff here on Planet Joy is being born right now. But for now, thank you so much for tuning in, for choosing joy, for choosing laughter and play, and choosing to be a part of this group this morning. It's been a powerful, magical energy. I can feel the shifts for everybody just expanding and uplifting and reconnecting with the truth of who you really are. May your journeys be filled with lightness and laughter and so much self-love and acceptance and compassion. And we will play again soon. Any other comments? Kevin, Elaine, anybody else who's still on? Send a comment.
This has been wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. And I'm going to snap a picture. How do I do a picture? Oh, I was going to be so handy with our technology. Oh, nuts. Never
mind. On the left-hand side, it's capture.
Yeah, I just clicked it and it went somewhere else. So we'll do that next time. It's okay. Oh, Elaine, you got it. Thank you. Perfect. All right, thanks, everyone. I'll send out the link, and so you can watch this again anytime. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was fun.